In this video, I'm excited to share with you 5 things that you need to know if you're considering living in the fields in Frisco, Texas, next to the PGA headquarters. So here we go. Hey there, I am Chrissy Ball, a local realtor here in this area of North Dallas, and today I am really looking forward to sharing with you more details about this phenomenal development that is called The Fields, which is going to be built right next to the PGA headquarters in Frisco, Texas. So in this video, I'm going to share with you 5 different things that you need to know if you're considering living in this area, and stick around to the very end because that's when I'm going to be talking about the school districts. And as we know, schools are so very important. So you want to stay all the way to the end so you can hear what I have to say about that. And if you are looking for a home, if you're interested in building a home in this area, my contact information is below. Just reach out to me and I will help you, give you the latest information and updates when it comes to these builders and just what is going on in this crazy, crazy time of housing right now, 2022. So let me just jump right in to the 5 things that you should know about living in this area. Okay, so this is a bird's eye view of what it's going to look like in the fields. And so you can see all of the green and trees, the golf courses that are there. And don't worry about it. I'm going to come back to this slide multiple times and go in depth into each one of these areas. But I just want you to have an overall view of what the fields is going to look like. And so you can just see from above where everything is and how everything looks. And so keep this picture in mind as I jump right into this next slide. The first thing that you need to know is that this is going to be a multi-use area and development. So there are going to be corporate buildings and offices, shops, then there's going to be housing. And so this is a rendering of what it's going to potentially look like when it comes to the corporate side and those corporate offices. And so this is going to be on the east side of this slide that I just showed you, where they're going to be building these corporate offices. And later on in this video, I'm going to point out on a map exactly or approximately where these are going to be located. But this is a great photo and rendering so that you can see what is coming to this area. As the developers and the town has been talking about this, they are saying they are going to be building a town within the town of Frisco. And so that should give you an idea of the type of volume of people and businesses and housing that's going to encompass and be in this area. So you want to keep that in mind as we come to this bird's eye view. And so if you're looking from this map, and the corporate area of what I was just talking about is just going to be right to the left or the west of that Dallas North Tollway. So you can see where all of those buildings are. You can see that little lake that is down a little bit towards more of the bottom of your screen. And so this again just gives you more of a bird's eye view of what those corporate offices are going to look like, and then where all of these residential areas are placed within that. So let me get a little bit closer, and that's why I did this next map for you, so that you could see that the next thing that you need to know is that there are going to be 9 villages that they are creating in the fields. Now, the description that they have on their website is that these are all interconnected, so that they're connected together, but they all have their different feel. And so I'm going to make an entirely different video about each one of these villages and what makes them different. But you can see on this map up at the top left of your screen, there is, I've labeled it number 1 is North Fields. Then right below that, you can see the PGA Headquarters and the Omni Hotel. And then you find the Preserve. The Preserve is going to be a gated community where they are building custom homes. Then you go over to number 3, which is Point West Village. Number 4 is Point East Village. Then going down to the bottom left of your screen, the number 5 is Brookside Village. Number 6 is Midtown West. So you can see that Midtown West is going to be over again by those corporate offices that I just showed you. Then number 7 is Midtown East. And then we wrap things up with number 8, East Village. And then just make a mental note here of number 9. That's going to be University Village. Those are going to be the student housing that they have for UNT Frisco that they are currently building right now. They're going to have a location for those university students, as well as what they have planned, 1,000 units for these students. So as you can see, there are 9 villages that are planned for this development. And what's going to encompass this area is 8,500 multi-family units. Okay, so you're going to have single family units, multi-family units, and then you're going to have those 1,000 student units that are going to be in University Village. So that's going to give you an overall view of how many homes are going to be available and what types of homes there are going to be. From these most recent city council meetings, they are still recutting different lot sizes. And so I am thinking that the numbers of these units are going to fluctuate potentially. And so at the time of recording this, thus far, there are 8,500 units that are projected to be built when it comes to housing and homes in the fields. So in this next slide, I wanted to just share with you that now we've talked about all of these structures being built, but you can also see when you go to the field's website that they have parks that are planned, 30 miles of hiking and biking trails, 2 PGA golf courses, which I have done an in-depth video on those golf courses and what they actually encompass. So I have put that video link in the description below. So if you want to go in detail about those golf courses, I've made a video specifically on that. But you've got those golf courses, then you've got open just green space, acreages of green space that is open, as well as ponds and creeks. So I just think seeing this bird's eye view is so important, which is also the reason why I put this next slide right after, so that you can see a rendering of what the Omni Resort Frisco is going to look like here at the PGA Headquarters. This is just a rendering again, but you can see all of the greenery and nature and trees and ponds that just the thought that has really gone into developing this space and this area to be and to encompass nature and elements of nature within all of these different buildings and structures that are going to be built. So this is the Omni resort that is going to be built by the PGA Headquarters. Again, this is a rendering, as they literally have the foundation that's going in right now. They're slowly starting to build that, but this just looks really beautiful. So the next thing that's important to know if you're going to think about living in the fields is, where does Frisco end and where does Prosper begin? Now, if you are not from this area, if you're relocating to this area, sometimes that can get really confusing and you might not necessarily know where you want to look for a home. And so if you take your attention to the top part of your screen, you can see I have Prosper, then there's a 380, and then Frisco is right below that. So make a mental note that basically the 380 is what separates Frisco from Prosper. So Frisco is just south of the 380 and Prosper is just north of the 380 give or take. But that is basically the landmark that I use to help me distinguish where Prosper begins and Frisco ends. So this should also help you if you're looking at a map. Again, if you're also looking at different houses, whether they're in Prosper or Frisco, and how far away you're going to be from the PGA and all of these different amenities that come with this area. So finally, I'm going to wrap things up with the school districts. Okay, so as we know, schools are so very important. And in all honesty, Frisco ISD and Prosper ISD are two exceptional school districts. But I was getting very confused myself when I was hearing that the Fields was going to have two different school districts. So I did some research, called an ISD, and got a map. And so this is just an guesstimate of where these school districts are going to stop and start. There is no finite line, but you can see that Legacy Drive, it's kind of got this windy street to it. Is basically, let's say, an estimate of where these school districts are going to right in the middle, okay? So to the left or to the west is going to be Frisco ISD from that Legacy Drive, as you can see. And then to the right or to the east is going to be Prosper ISD. And so this is going to help you also when it comes to where are you thinking about building your home? Where do you want to live within the Fields? The Fields is in two different school districts. And so you definitely want to make sure you keep that in mind when you are thinking about which one of these areas you want to live in. Now, for sure, we know that Frisco ISD Golf is going to have its home at the PGA Headquarters, which is absolutely phenomenal and amazing. But this is such a community area. I at the time of recording this, I'm not sure about what Prosper ISD Golf is going to have access to, but because this area is just so involved in community, I can't imagine that these students at Prosper ISD won't have some sort of amazing access to the PGA Headquarters as well. So again, if you have any questions about this area, there's a lot that is changing, as you probably know, through, over the time, which is always nice to just stay updated on what's going on. If you have any questions, my contact information is below. And if you're interested in buying a home, building a home in the Fields, I would absolutely love to help you out through your process. Again, these builders are changing their minds all of the time when it comes to whether they're having lists or wait lists or getting rid of lists. It's just kind of in flux and changing quite a bit. And so I continue to have a pulse on what's going on. And I would be happy to help you when it comes to you building a home in this area of the Fields. So as always, I thank you so much for watching. It just really, truly means so much to me. And I just pray nothing but health and wellness to you as we know everybody's health is being challenged right now. So I send that to you. I thank you so much for watching again. Until next time, I will see you later. Bye.